So before I start the video, I just want to say that if you are here to learn to know who are the best sync pairs in the game, then this video is not for you, because this tier list is based on the sync pairs I have at 3 out of 5. So you can see there's quite a number I don't have at 3 out of 5, and there's half of this I don't even have, right? So if you're here to learn, want to know who is the best sync pairs, then this video isn't for you. But if you're here to know my opinions on the sync pairs I have, right, which is the pool one, then feel free to stay. Okay, so how am I gonna do this tier list? This tier list will be very biased. This tier list will be based on my experience using these sync pairs. Okay, so it is very biased because we all have different playstyles, right? So what you like doesn't mean I like as well. So for example, let's say Signature Serena and Zygarde. I'm sure most of us would agree that she's the best sync pair in the game, best striker in the game. But if I don't enjoy using her, then she wouldn't be S tier for me. Because like I said, this is based on how much I like them, how much I enjoy using them. Even factors like their voice lines, their move animations play into the factor of how much I like using them. So this is a very biased tier list, okay? I just want to get out of the way. Also, another thing I want to say is that 6-star EX would play a pretty big factor into this tier list as well. Obviously, the one with 6-star EX would generally rank higher because, you know, they are better, right? Obviously, than those that's not 6-star EX. And I won't be ranking those that don't have grid. I won't be ranking those that I don't have or it's not a 3 out of 5. And there's also another one that needs more time. Basically, these 5 sync pairs, I have not or rarely used them yet. Claire, I know, has been here from the beginning, but I don't think I've even used her 2 times. I probably only used her once, which was 2 years ago or something. So I don't really have much experience using her. So it wouldn't be fair to judge her, right? If I don't really play her much. Same goes for the other 4, which just got their grids. I haven't played them yet, not even once. So not gonna judge them. Hopefully in a future video, maybe I'll update this list in months, something. So I've been trying to introduce this tier list whatever for a long time now, so let's get started. First one is freaking Protagonist and Pikachu. Yeah, easiest F tier in my life. Let's be real, Pikachu sucks. Not only does he cannot do DPS, he cannot do nuke, and yeah, he sucks. Not only that he sucks, he also it's kinda useless to use. Okay, maybe he has potion, which is kinda useful, right? He has potion, cool. But Thundershot, Thunderbolt sucks. So yeah, and on top of that, I heavily, respectfully dislike the protagonist. So yeah, bias, I know, like I said, this tier list is biased. F tier for me. Cynthia. Well, Cynthia has good voice, has good personality, has good whatever. We all know by now. Best champion. So you would assume that, I will put her to S tier because I like her a lot, my favorite champion, whatever. I will put her to A. I like her. She is good, but she just got power crept really badly by Maxi. The upcoming Giovanni, Nidoking as well, they just hit harder than her, unfortunately. On top of that, I wouldn't say I don't like using. I like using her, but she is a bit weird to use. You need Sandstorm, right? Obviously, you need Sandstorm to buff stuff, buff for Surging Sand thing, which is cool, but you need a teammate for that. And then on top of that, she cannot really max her attack or crit. She can max crit with Sandstorm, which kinda sucks because you rely Sandstorm again on this. She has ramming speed, which she cannot really set up, so that kinda sucks. So overall, I think she's A tier. A tier. Good. She is good. Just isn't S tier for me. Next up, we have Brandon. Brandon I will put to A tier as well. I like using, better than Cynthia, I like using him. He is definitely very self-sufficient, more self-sufficient than Cynthia, right? She does good damage. He does good damage, good DPS, can buff crit, attack, special attack. He cannot make speed, that kinda sucks, but it's still not bad. I do have him on 6-star EX, so that plays a big part in this as well. So I think he's good. Good DPS, good damage. Quite fun to use as well, I like him. Next up we have Silver. Silver is B tier for me. keep in mind he has not gotten his 6-star EX yet, so it might be higher. We also don't know if he's gonna get an expanded grid. Might be higher because of that as well. So right now it's B tier. He is pretty good actually. I wouldn't say I like it, but he's kind of weird to use as well. Kind of like Cynthia. Like his trainer move, right? You +2 crit and +2 evasion when it's sunny. You're going to rely on sun, which okay, isn't that bad because he has the thing, right? Solarize, so I can summon sun. Again, inertia, nothing can buff his speed unless you know, has the fast track thing. Fast track 3. So yeah, he's a bit weird to use, but he can do big damage. Solar beam, overhit, pretty good damage. So yeah, he's good. I don't like. He's kind of okay to use to me. Okay, next we have Zinnia. Zinnia is unfortunately C for me. She's even weirder than Silver and Cynthia. Like, she has 2 dragon moves, Outrage and Draco Meteor. Outrage, you are clear-headed, but for Draco Meteor you don't have Dauntless in the grid, so you need passive lucky skill, which isn't bad I guess. But like, the other very weird thing is that her trainer move sucks, man. Her trainer move sucks so much. You use trainer move, you -2 defense and special defense. Use it twice, you get a -4. That is terrible. And then what's the trade-off you get from decreasing your special defense? You get +2 attack and special attack, right? Which sucks. That is not a good trade-off. You also remove flinch or whatever, but you have clear header, you don't need that. I mean, she is one of the earlier sync pairs they designed, so yeah, hopefully expanded grid will make her better. So overall, damage-wise, Draco Meteor can hit hard. Sync is alright. She does need a weather, right? So a bit reliant. No crit. Yeah, she has no crit support as well. So that kind of sucks. So yeah, her damage-wise, a bit on the lower side, and also kind of weird to use. I don't really like using her. Hilda is A tier for me. She's great. Nuke is very, very good. Like, unfortunately, Flare is good, but the recoil is just so bad. Even with stand fast 5, like even if you take 3, it hurts, man. It hurts. So usually I just go for flame charge to buff speed. Then you just nuke, right? She has inertia, and then if you have sun, she's gonna nuke hard. You do need like crit support. Attack support you don't really need, but crit support you do need, right? She has no way to buff her own crit. So overall, I like using her. Like the voice lines, I guess. Damage wise, DPS a bit weak, but nuke is good. So A tier for me. Ethan is I guess C as well. He kinda sucks. He kinda sucks. So for Ethan, he just kinda sucks. It's like, the first problem is that eruption depends on your HP. So if your HP is low, you're not gonna do damage. And his damage gonna suck. And on top of that, no crit support, which sucks. He can do that pretty good damage with eruption if your HP is full. You have Bob and Weave +6 evasion and crit. Okay, but like, he's also weird to use. I don't really like using him. Nuke is pretty bad. No, literally no multiplier. Special attack is not that high for striker as well. So yeah, he's just not good, and I don't like using him. Next up is Elesa. Elesa is also A for me. She's good. I like her. She carries. I pretty much use her every single time there's an electric weak stage. Very often. Like, her nuke is good. Same problem with Hilda. Walk charge, recoil move. Even with stand fast, the damage sucks. But being able to do crit hit next is very useful. You can use this before sync, then you sync, you don't even need crit support. Then you can just wipe the stage pretty easily. So nuke is good. DPS a bit low, but overall I like using her. It's pretty fun, and damage is also not bad. Next time we have Flint. Flint is it's F tier, not as bad as Protagonist of course. But Flint is just, yeah. So Flint sucks really bad. Not only do you not have 100% accuracy on Fire Blast, you also have no way to increase your accuracy as well. And I mean, to be fair, he is also one of the earlier sync pairs that got a grid. So his grid really sucks. Like, the only multiplier he has is Critical Strike 1. which is 12 energy for like a 10% increased damage. No, he just sucks. And I also don't like using him. I mean, like, yeah, the Fire Blast not 100% accurate sucks. So, you know, it's just not fun using him. If you like miss like 1 in 10 times, 2 in 10 times, nah. Let's talk about Guzma. Guzma is okay, it's B. Ever since I got SC Ingo, and then I paired him up with Guzma, he is not too bad. If without Ingo Bug Zone, he is C tier, but now, okay, I can give him a B tier. He is okay. His damage is okay, decent. With Pin Missile, you hit 5 times in a row and no quarter, right? His DPS is not bad, honestly. It's not bad. Max Crit, also pretty good. First impression you can do, you know, the first move you use in the battle, pretty good. But the Nuke is kinda weak. So that's a bit of a problem. I don't have him on 6-star EX again. If I have 6-star EX, I might have to bump him up to maybe high B, right? But no, 6-star EX kinda sucks. DPS fine with Bug Zone and then Ingo debuff defense, right? He's pretty good. But yeah, a bit reliant on teammate. I do like using him though, he's kind of fun to use. It's satisfying to see him like spam like this Pin Missile 5 times in a row. It's quite satisfying, sound effect, you know. Voice lines I like as well. So B tier also, if only he does more damage on sync, then he will be pretty high. Kris, unfortunately, I don't like using her. Her damage is also not the greatest. I mean, actually, I take that back. Damage is okay. I mean, he has a Haymaker in the grid, so she is fine. Like, her nuke is not bad. She might be pretty good with 6-star EX. She still doesn't have 6-star EX, that kind of sucks, but yeah. Her nuke is not bad. DPS is okay. It's not bad. It's fine. But the problem is no crit support and no 100% accurate move. 75, which sucks so much. So you need a accuracy support. I mean, she does have the apply sheer hit next effect, but let's be real, are you really gonna use pick up the pace and then use Mega Kick, and then use pick up the pace and then use Mega... No, you're just gonna keep spamming Mega Kick. So yeah, I don't like using her. Damage wise, it's fine, but I just don't like using her. For Selene is okay for me as well. B tier, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. Overall, like, her damage is fine. It's not too bad. It's pretty decent. Leaf Blade, Nuke, not bad, right? But the problem is hard to set up with, especially with like speed. I just don't really like the setup. And then you have to use Spirit Shackle before you use Leaf Blade as well, which is kinda annoying to me. 3 gauge I guess, but yeah, I just don't like using her. Might be different though if I have ever a 6-star EX. And not only that, like, since her Sing move crits more easily, right, and then even Leaf Blade crits more easily, the BP is reduced, so that really hurts her damage a bit. So yeah, next time we have B. B, honestly, a high A tier for me. Might be S tier, yeah, if I have her at 6-star EX. I don't, so that kinda sucks. Now even if I don't have her at 6-star EX, I really like using her. She is fun to use. The damage, the animation of Meteor Assault is so satisfying. She does good damage, good DPS, really good nuke, and a bit difficult to set up, I guess, right? With like into nuke crit, attack, speed, but she's just satisfying to use. Animation nice, big damage, not even, and it's from the perspective of non 6-star EX as well. Imagine 6-star EX, she's just gonna wipe the stage with the sync. Next up we have Giovanni. I'm on a fence between S and A, honestly. On a fence. He is really strong, but I actually don't enjoy using him as much. Like, the main problem is because he cannot buff his special attack, which kinda sucks. But his damage is really good though, once you get his special attack to max, and then Psychic Terrain. So, on the fence between A and S, so maybe very high A, I guess. Yeah, let's put very high A. So like, Giovanni is great. Overall, just a really strong free to play sync pair. Not only can he do psychic damage, he can also do ghost damage, and he can freaking mega to almost 600 special attack. This thing, it hits like a truck. And then if you get to -6 special defense, you have Brain Teaser, you have the, what's the thing again? Smarty Pants. You're gonna do insane damage. Insane damage. And yeah, he is really strong, but in terms of how much I like using him, it's fine. It's fine. I wouldn't say I like using him a lot, but it's fine. Maybe that's why he's at A tier. Next, we have Blue and Arcanine, and honestly, I freaking like using Blue. A tier for me. In terms of damage, he is on the weaker side, but I really like using him. And I think the reason is because of Hyper Beam animation. Hyper Beam animation just looks so freaking sick. And Blue's first lines as well. Blue has probably one of my favorites battle voices, I guess. And yeah, his Hyper Beam hits hard though. His Hyper Beam hits hard. And if you have him on Sun, he does insane damage. He can easily do 2000 points in Champion Stadium. Very easily. He is strong. He can max his own crit, which is really great. You just need attack support. Then you just spam Hyper Beam. You can even debuff him with Swift as well if you want to, with the Overwhelm too. I have not used this yet, so I don't know much about this, so yeah. Next up we have Pryce. Pryce is probably C tier for me. He is fine, I guess. So like, Pryce has very terrible, pretty bad nuke. He has no multiplier, but Sassy Wing can do good damage. But you need to freeze and set up Hell. Hell is easy to do. Freeze though, freeze no, freeze sucks. Freeze sucks, so yeah. He just weird. I won't say weird, but I don't really like using him that much. Icy Wind is cool, you can minus defense, minus the speed, that's cool. Damage could be good, but freeze, again, sucks. We have the first Master Fair, I think, yeah, the first Master Fair. S tier. Lusamine, 6 EX as well. I don't think I have to explain much about Lusamine, right? Lusamine, Master Fair, hits incredibly hard, very strong. You have Psychic Terrain, big damage. Now, she's good. She's just good. I don't know what to say much about her. She hits hard. And I really like using her as well, especially with like the cool prismatic laser animation, and then this very cool Sing animation as well. Very sick. I like using her. Also very strong. Next up is her daughter, Lily, also S tier. So Lily, Moongeist Beam, cool animation, really sick. Being able to ignore passive skill, useful in Legendary Gauntlet as well, which is great. And on top of that, he has Potion, which is quite useful sometimes in Gauntlet as well. You can literally heal her back up to full, and to activate the what's the thing? Have Healthy Benefits 5 passive to tank more damage, right? And then you heal back up to full, and then you know, get the point. Trainer move, you max a special attack crit. Very simple, right? Just click once and then just keep spamming Moongeist Beam. It's kinda easy to use, but I really like using her. It's very fun. And for that, big damage with super effective up next, right? With the super preparation for big damage. Next up, we have Siebold. I'm sure most of you won't see this coming. S tier for me. I really like Siebold. Like, yeah, okay, you can argue his DPS sucks. Yeah, agree. I honestly agree. DPS really pretty bad. What about 2 gauge move? Pretty bad. But his nuke though, his nuke is no joke. His nuke is pretty good. He has done a lot of good things for me. He 3000 points Champion Stadium stage. He 3v1 who was it? Moltres Legendary Gauntlet. He's great. It's great. I literally 6-star EX him as a joke, honestly. But then I just like using him. It's funny, you know? It's funny. It's a joke, 6-star EX, and then I just like using him a lot. It's just so satisfying to use, right? With super effective up next with the super preparation, right? You're using move, and then you just wipe the stage. Especially cannot Champion Stadium. If you have in the 6-star EX, of course. 6-star EX plays a pretty big role in this, right? If it's not 6-star EX, it's probably like B tier for me, because you cannot like wipe the Champion Stadium. But yeah, I really like using him. Very satisfying to use. We have Hau next. So for Hau, probably C tier. Yeah. So for Hau, I also don't really like using him much. He's fine. DPS kind of bad actually. Pretty bad. Don't have any multipliers at all. But nuke is pretty respectable. Pretty good actually. If he has 6-star EX though, if I have him at 6-star EX as well, then it might be higher because his nuke is pretty good. With inertia. Damage wise, DPS sucks, kinda sucks, and then nuke is good. And yeah, I also don't really like using him as much. So yeah. Next up we have Olivia. Olivia is A, probably very high A honestly. There's just one thing holding her back from S. It's a freaking trainer move. You -2 special defense. That is terrible. -2 is terrible. Yeah. So yeah, And then you also need you do need to use your trainer move to +2 accuracy, so you don't miss with Stone Edge. So yeah, you need to use this. If not, you have to bring accuracy support, or you want to play with gambling. I guess you can gamble. Yeah, DPS good, very good. Nuke also really good, and I also really like using her. Just only one thing, my Sword Spare Defense. I just really don't like that. Grimsley also in A, pretty good. I like using him. Grimsley, his DPS good. Nuke is also pretty good. Like his playstyle is very interesting. I kind of like it. I used like this weird playstyle. I used it before. I used it even in Gauntlet, I think. Moltres, I think. Basically what I did is I used Sink and Swim, and then I used Dawn's Full Restore, heal it back up, then I'll max crit. Yeah, I just use it like that, and it's kind of fun, not gonna lie, kind of gambling. Cool, very interesting playstyle, like it. Good DPS, good nuke. Overall, pretty good. Morty, I do have a lot of A tier. I also put him in A tier. So for Morty, he's pretty good. You can max crit, right? Setting up is a bit of a pain because of evasion, right, for blind spot. But if you set up, his nuke is pretty good, pretty solid. Phantom Force can do pretty big damage as well. You do have to time it well to like kill them. Overall, pretty good. I also like using him, pretty nice. Korrina, yeah, it's probably F tier for me. Yeah, so I'm sure we all know what's the problem, right? Close combat do pretty good damage, big damage. -1 defense, special defense though, that is not a good thing. Yeah, you can kickstart score 3, but no, I don't think that's useful. Kinda sucks. Nuke is also terrible. You don't have any multipliers at all. And yeah, you can even max crit as well. You can even like +1. You can even max attack. Only +1 attack. You have to rely on Berserker 1 to +1 more attack. So you get total +2 attack when you use once. And you can even max speed, but it's funny that she can max speed, but they didn't give her inertia. I don't know why. I think inertia is really just. I think she just needs inertia, and then she's gonna be pretty good. Sadly, she does not. It also sucks using her because I mean she has mega cool, but like yeah, she just not that great. I also don't really like using her, especially for like post combat. Next we have Fantina, she's I guess C tier. Her damage wise is pretty bad. Like you can get on a roll, that's cool, but like she kinda sucks, unfortunately. I sometimes use her as a gauge giver though for the trainer move. You get +3 gauge when like you use a heavy gauge team, which is kind of fun sometimes. But yeah, damage wise bad. I don't really like using her as well. I guess maybe the gauge one is pretty fun, and that's about it. No, Burgh, I would say C tier as well, maybe high C. Like his nuke is high, no doubt. Smarty Pants is a really good passive, very high, but like I mean even up Solar Flare, you also need Sun, right? But like I just don't really like using him. He just feels weird to use for some reason. Like his trainer move is also kind of weird. If only he has inertia though, you get +2, 3 speed here. But yeah, I just don't like using him. DPS is fine, nuke is really good, just that there's just something about him I don't know that I don't like. Again, a lot of this like tier listing is based on what I think now. Things may change in the future when I maybe like 6-star EX them or something, or maybe I get to use them even more often. My opinion might change, depends. Now for Berry is a B, a low B for me. Now Berry, his nuke is really good. He has 2 multipliers, which is great, but his DPS sucks. And then this one, he cannot max crit as well, which sucks. But overall, like his damage is really good. Not DPS, nuke is good. But I also don't really like using him. He just doesn't. I just don't like using him. So yeah, I really a lot of these Imperas, I just don't like using some of them, with no particular reason. Just maybe it's because they just don't feel satisfying using them. My opinion might change if I decide EX him now, because his nuke is really good. Maybe similar to S tier Siebold, maybe, depends. Might have to 6-star EX to find out. Next we have the protagonist and Solgaleo. Oh no, another protagonist. Well, I don't like the protagonist, but damage wise, style is good damage. So like his damage is good. Solgaleo, good damage. He can do fighting and steal damage, right? So in terms of damage wise, he is very good. I just don't like Protagonist. I don't exactly like using him as well. Like his trainer move is great, plus 3 accuracy is great. And sure, Focus Blast doesn't miss, but 3 gauges kinda expensive, right? Don't have any speed support as well. So yeah, damage good. I just don't like using him. And yeah, he does have some switch strike that can ignore the passive, right? Which can be useful. I use him against like was it Yuxi, which has like a lot of passive stuff. And yeah, he carried me. Well, he didn't carry me, he did like 1.5 bars I guess. Which is fine I guess. But I just don't really like using him. Karen, oh man. Karen is C tier for me. She... how do you say this? Oh shoot, there's 2 Infernape. Well, oops. Okay, anyways, Karen is C. She just sucks. I wouldn't say sucks, but like she's difficult to use. Okay, maybe that's what I'm trying to say. She's very difficult to use. Why she's difficult to use? When you Mega, you have to like debuff use now debuff to get the Dark Pulse and this thing, right? Get overpower to get some damage. And if you want further damage, you need to take dirty fighting, which means you have to status them. Then fall fighting, which means you have to do status interference like flinch and confusion, which is difficult to set up. It's not easy to set up, right? You have to rely on the teammates. You can buff attack, special attack crit, but like you have to rely on teammates, which kinda sucks. And then you have to debuff special attack. But if you manage to do all of this, which is quite a lot of things to do, her DPS Dark Pulse is pretty strong. Pretty strong. Nuke sucks, there's no multiplier. Pretty bad. But yeah, she's just very difficult to use, and I don't exactly like using her. And actually, now that I think about it, I haven't even used her in Dark Zone yet. I should probably try that. My opinions might change, maybe. Guess we'll see. Next up is Plumeria. Plumeria is B for me. She's like the only poison striker, right? But she really sucks. So like, she is also difficult to use because of her trainer move, right? I need to rely on some gauges to like +2 speed and switch attack. And yeah, she cannot max crit as well. The DPS is kinda bad. Nuke is good, and yeah, just weird to use overall. Next up we have Iris. Iris is probably C tier for me. So for Iris, right, problem is Outrage. You either need to take Clear-Headed or take the Lesson Confusion 9. For me, for my build, right, I have Confusion Lesson 9 as well as Confusion Boon 5. So that's more damage when confused. But even with that, she still kinda sucks. Her DPS is okay. It's fine. But her nuke is pretty bad. And yeah, it's nice that she can max crit, but like her grid just sucks. Her grid just really sucks. If only has some multipliers like for Outrage and the Sting move, then she'll definitely be higher. Next time we have Blue and Pidgeot. Honestly, an S tier for me. I really like to use Pidgeot and Blue. Again, one of the reasons is because Voice Lines. Voice Lines is great. The other reason is that Flying Zone. Pairing him up with Flying Zone, Skyla, the damage is satisfying. Hurricane has really sick animation as well. So I just like using him. His damage wise, he's okay. He's pretty good. Not as good as like the top tiers, the strikers, but I really like using him. It's a great sync pair to use. His damage is pretty good. He can Mega as well. His damage is good. Nuke is on the lower side, but overall, I like using him a lot, especially after Flying Zone. Next time we have Cyrus and Palkia. Honestly, high A for me. Also very close to S, but not quite. So Palkia is an interesting one because he can max his own crit with Critical Focus 2, this one, but then use Spatial Rare, which is great. Sometimes using this is quite useful in like Gauntlet, right? So you don't have to bring crit support, which is great. He can also do water DPS, very good water DPS actually, with like ramming speed, right? Then he has Critical Strike 9 passive, which is very strong. His nuke is also pretty good. And he just got 6 EX, right? Crazy stuff. Really strong. But like, I'm not really a big fan of minus 25% HP. Like, I mean, okay, you can take like healthy healing, right? Then, or refreshing rain if you want. Not the biggest fan of 25%, but yeah, maybe that's the only thing that's keeping him from S. But yeah, he's in terms of damage, he's very strong. I just don't like that much, like using him as much. Next up we have Serena and Zygarde. I made fun of her saying that she's gonna be in B tier, like say like she sucks. Not sucks. She's hard, but I don't like using her. Put her in B. That's a lie. I like using her. She's S. I don't think I need to explain why she's good, how good she is. I'm sure you've heard it a lot from like other people, right? I'm just here to say that I like using her. She has two type of moves. One physical, one special, one ground, one dragon. She's very easy to use. Direct hit twice and then few of wings, and then you make special attack and crit with no drawbacks other than 2 gauge. The 2 gauge, which is not a problem at all. Nuke is strong, DPS is very strong. She has complete form which increases her stat to 500. She's just strong, she's strong. I literally say I'm not gonna explain why she's strong, but I did it anyways. But yeah, I like using her as well. The animation, the Core Enforcer 1000 waves animation, very sick. Like it a lot. Next time we have Kaylin. Kaylin is she's as I don't know if it's 6 EX though, so maybe. But her nuke is not that great. So for Kaylin, she sucks. I'm sorry to say, she sucks. Not only can you not max crit, you cannot even buff crit, right? You also cannot make a special attack without NPR. Her DPS kinda bad. Her nuke also kinda bad. And yeah, I did use her as like a tank for Gauntlet, and I use her as a tank for like I used to use her for Cynthia, Acerola, and Garchomp. Cynthia, Acerola, and Caitlyn with Sand Shelter. I remember using that. Team worked because she has the catalytic cure. It was kind of fun to use, right? Yeah, catalytic cure is here. And yeah, I even use her as a tank. It kind of works. But yeah, nowadays I don't use her anymore. Don't use her as much. But yeah, she just sucks, unfortunately. Next up is Steven. Steven, I don't even have him at 3 out of 5. Let's move him down here. Next up we have Carol and Houndoom. It's Houndoom but worse, honestly. And yeah, I mean, she's free. We can't really complain much about that. So Karen is just kind of double edge is again recoil move, kind of sucks. So yeah, then we have the trainer mode. You cannot even max crit, which is kind of sad, and you cannot max attack as well, which is also sad. So for DPS, double edge is good, but again a bit scary. You do have gradual heal, so that's kind of okay, but like still a bit risky to use her. He can still do decent job at 2000 points. Nuke is kind of bad because you only have Catastrophe 2 and Crit Strike 2 as your, and Double Down 2 as your passive. It's not that great. It's okay only. Yeah, I also don't really like to use her because of recoil. So yeah. Next up we have Signature Cynthia. Oh boy, Signature Cynthia. God damn it, man. If you have not watched my challenge video, you click the top right corner right now to look at it. So 6 EX, 3 out of 5. Signature Cynthia. Just B tier, honestly. Could have been even worse if I don't have her at 6 EX. So from my B or B tier. She's just weird to use. Like a trainer move. You can max crit unless you are at very low HP, then you can. So this is really weird to use, and when your HP is low, the battle should have already gone for like a while now. So you might as well just be in a crit support and then use this for like move gauge acceleration. You cannot also max out special attack, which is terrible. Clanging skill can do decent damage. Her nuke is also okay. It's not too bad. You do have to paralyze it, which you can as well with paralysis. With hostile environment, 60% chance to paralyze. I'm sorry, man. I like Cynthia, but Signature Cynthia just isn't it. Next up we have Lusamine. Lusamine is also for me B tier. She's good, but like playstyle as well is weird. Like you cannot max crit and evasion. Like you cannot max crit. You can heal, but you cannot max crit, which is a problem. You cannot even buff attack or special attack unless you knock out, right? With the positive reinforcement 3 passive, but you have to knock out, which is a problem, I guess. You need time to do that. And you might as well just bring like a crit and attack or special attack support. Her damage is not bad, Nuke is fine as well. It's just trainer move problem, I just don't like the trainer move and it's weird to use her. She can also do pretty decent damage with Desert, right? Ice damage, pretty nice damage. But again, just trainer move. Trainer move sucks. Next up we have Wally, Gallade. Also B tier. Damage, pretty good, and the problem as well is trainer move, as well as very difficult to set up. You also need to use this twice to make sure Focus Plus doesn't miss, if you plan to use Focus Plus of course, which you probably should because Focus Plus hits hard. And then his sync is physical, which is a problem. It's not like Brandon where you can max out both special attack and attack. You cannot really do that, so you need to bring kind of both attack special attack support to buff your to buff Wally. And then on top of that, a bit difficult to set up K1, you have to debuff. Ramming speed also a bit difficult unless you use like post haste 9, right? Which you have to get hit, which you don't really want to get hit, you know. If you die, you're not gonna do damage, right? Fast Track 2 as well, it's 30%, pretty bad chance. It does have 0 in 1, more critical hits than more easily, which is great I guess, since you know with that you can just use direct hit twice. And yeah, that will be fine. Damage, he is pretty good, pretty strong, Focus Blast, good damage. Sync is also pretty good, but sadly because of Mega, Sync damage is reduced, so it's a bit weak, and then it's also hard to set up. Overall, he's fine. I somehow like using B more than him, even though my B is not 6IX. Okay, 2 more. Second to last, Singasu Red, no doubt. Might be my favorite sync pair to use, honestly. It might be my favorite sync pair to use. Not only does he hit hard, he's very fun to use. I really like using him. Very easy to use, very fun to use. Haymaker, a bit difficult to set up, you need attack support, but it's not really a problem. Solar Flare 5, good passive, just brings sun support, and then you also get additional boost from sun damage, from sun boost itself, right? Blast Burn, big damage, Heat Wave, big damage, Nuke, big damage. He's just really strong. Very strong. Yeah, when you Mega, you get like 500 special attack and attack. I mean, it's not like you're gonna use Flare Blitz anyways, right? Flare Blitz, I never even use Flare Blitz honestly. It's kinda bad. So yeah, just Blast Burn all the way, big damage. Trainer move a bit sucks because like minus defense, but usually I just use this once. For plus 3 special attack and attack, and then I just use like, special attack and speed, and then I just use like another support to like top up the remaining stats. And then maybe don't need crit support, you can make your own crit. And then you need sun. I just like using him. I used him since like February 2020. It's been 2.5 years, 2.2 years plus since I use him. And I still really like using him, and he's my go-to striker to use when, you know, I'm lazy to think of a team and I just want to beat some stages. Yeah. Next up, Hala. Hala is also somewhat high A tier. I like using him as well. Pretty good, very strong. The only small problem is speed. Speed is terrible, and then Ice Hammer decreased speed again, which sucks, but his nuke is pretty good. Haymaker is great, and then 4 sync nodes, great. He can max crit, max attack as well, plus accuracy, which is great for the 90% accurate Ice Hammer. So overall, he's really good. He even has first aid 6, and he's one of the tankiest like strikers, so he's not gonna die that easily. And he also do big damage. It's only speed that's a problem, which kind of, I guess, pull him down a bit. Overall, I do enjoy using him. He's pretty fun to use. Nuke is great as well. And yeah, that is all. This is a tier list of my personal best and favorite sync pairs in the game as of today, end of April 2022. I might update this like once every 6 months or something. Depends how well this video does, I guess. But yeah, this is my tier list again, my opinion. This will definitely change in like 6 months time because, you know, I might get to use more sync pairs more often. Maybe then I might get new sync pairs, 2 out of 5 something, right? Yeah, my top 6 sync pairs: Singasu Red, Singasu Lusamine, Singasu Serena, Lily, Siebold, and Blue. So yeah, make sure to subscribe for my tag and support tier list.